Yo, 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 yo. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good afternoon. Whenever you see this, good night, good evening, whatever time it is where you're at, big up your thing. First, I'll start by I wanted to hit 250 subscribers by the middle of the month. We have already hit 250 subscribers. We are growing at a very good rate. I'm genuinely happy and grateful for all the support I've gotten so far. If you haven't subbed up and you see this video, please do sub up, like the video, help it spread everywhere. But today we're going to be talking about Arsenal versus Sunderland. And a lot of people are looking at this fixture as a very tricky game. And don't get me wrong, Sunderland are a team to be respected, like genuinely just due to their placement in the table. And I think they've started the season like really well and 1,000 miles ahead of what anyone expected to them. So definitely respect due, for sure respect due on what they've achieved so far. However, I would say what they're unbelievably good at is defending and keeping those score lines very low. I don't think they are a team with a fantastic amount of attacking quality. Like in the top 10 clubs, they have got the lowest scoring by at least 2. So like the lowest besides them. Oh no, I lied. No, I didn't lie. I definitely didn't lie. It's Crystal Palace with 14, and then it's them. So for me, I can't see their team. Like, okay, let's go through their top goal scorers. Their top goal scorer is Wilson Isidore, or with 4 goals, and then everyone else, and then the next goal scorer is 1. So for me, I don't look at their lineup with Wilson Isidore, the Enzo Lafi, and Bertrand Traore as a team that I think is going to particularly trouble us, to be quite honest with you. Especially with the teams that we've kept clean sheets against. I don't think they have a better side than Crystal Palace. I don't think they have a better forward line really than anyone we've played, to be quite honest with you. So again, I'm not too concerned with them getting at us. I think the thing I'm more concerned with is can we get goals against them. And don't get me wrong, they are good defensively. I don't think they're unbelievably physical at the back. I don't. Again, I just when I look at the one or two Sunderland games I've watched, I don't think their strengths hurt us particularly. And don't get me wrong, they've got players to be respected, they've got a record to be respected, and they're getting results. However, I do think that run ends with us, and I think we'll overwhelm them with quality. With that being said, though, we are missing a lot of players that is going under the radar. Like if this was any other club, you would call it an injury crisis, and it is an injury crisis, particularly because of all the injuries being in one area of the pitch. I'll just go through them quickly. Which is Zubamendi is out with a knock, Gyökeres with a muscle injury, Martinelli again with a knock, Martin Odegaard with a knee injury, Kai with a knee injury, Noni Madueke with a knee injury, and then obviously Gabriel Jesus just started training, come back from a cruciate ligament injury. Those are all forward. They're all pretty much forward players. Yeah, they're all pretty much forward players. So for me, that is particularly worrying against a side that is good defensively. I think if there's anything to be worried about, it'll be that. Which leaves us with a forward line of Eze, Trossard, and Xhaka, or potentially Eze, Mourinho, and Xhaka. Like, there's a few things that he could probably do. Again, this is why you have squad depth, so that you actually have some form of options left. And I think even though all those attacking forwards are out, you would probably guess it might be Trossard, Mourinho, Xhaka with Eze in midfield. Or you could guess a few different ways, which is why it's so important to have a squad of this size so that you still have options even in a crisis. Like, you will call this a crisis, but we still have Mourinho who can play up top, Trossard, Eze, and Saka. Do you know what I mean? So again, so hats off to Arteta to having 100 people out and still being able to put out a side that I think everyone would say is worthy of winning this game. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, and I think, again, it leaves us with a midfield of Rice, Norgard, and probably Mourinho or Eze, one out of the two. But positives on the injuries is that Arteta expects 5 of them to be back after the international break for that North London derby against Spurs. The 5 that he's named is Havertz, which is a big one for us. Odegaard, again, another big one. Gyökeres, another big one. Martinelli, a big one. Madueke, a big. Like, they're all big. These are all big players to come back. Like, we haven't got any small players out. Like, no players that we wouldn't be playing. It's all big players. So those are 5 massive returns for us, which hopefully, can help us really get over the line during Christmas. You know what I mean? But yeah, back to Sunderland. I just feel like they've made some. Don't get me wrong. Like their window has been crazy. Like in hindsight, you'd probably put them number one. Obviously, we're a quarter into the season. You don't know how it's all going to end up. But if you was to rank it now, in hindsight, it would be like them because they've completely turned it to get promoted and be top 4 after 10 games is an insane achievement. Now I do expect them to drop down and even out because again, they're a very new team. They just shouldn't be there, to be quite honest with you. And if they manage to sustain. If Sunderland managed to sustain top 8 this season, that's one of the best managerial achievements I've seen personally with my own eyeballs. So that'll be hats off to them for sure. But again, I expect us to overwhelm them with quality. I expect us to overwhelm them with control. I don't think they've come against a side as good as us yet. Like, I mean, let's look at their fixtures. They've again, they're all pretty low scoring. Sunderland, Everton 1-1. Chelsea, they beat them 2-1. Again, I don't think they'll get those chances with us. Sunderland beat Wolves again. They're in hell. They lost to Man U. They beat Nottingham 1-0 again. Bottom of the table side. Drew Aston Villa. Again, tricky. Sunderland and Crystal Palace 0-0 again. They beat Brentford. So none of these sides that they've beaten are really top sides. Burnley beat them 2-0 again. Like we smashed Burnley. Sunderland, they beat West Ham again. They're in hell. So I do think, to an extent, they've benefited from a very good run. They haven't played any good teams, and when they have, they've lost. The only like decent team they've played really is, and got a result is Chelsea, and Chelsea are 9th. So for me, they've benefited from a very good run to get them some momentum to actually get up the table. And don't get me wrong, these are still Premier League clubs, so it's still an achievement. However, it's not like they've gone to Man City, Liverpool, and closed out results of these people. So Sunderland are to be respected, but I don't think they're to be feared from the perspective of Arsenal Football Club. This should be a result for me that is, I'd put money on it. Like I'd feel comfortable putting money on it and not watching the game and going to sleep, waking up and cashing my money out. Do you know what I mean? So again, even with the state of injuries that we've got, I still see us as a by far superior team. And if their game is more based on, defensive ability, I'm not worried. I really not worried. And I think another thing as well with the Liverpool Man City game, I fully expect us to capitalise and go 8 points ahead of at least one of them. I think Man City are on Man City. Again, we're 6 points ahead of Man City, 7 points ahead of Liverpool. So realistically, like if one of them is going to win, you probably want Liverpool. A draw would be fantastic. So then we go 9 points. We will go 9 points ahead of Liverpool and then 8 points ahead of Man City. That is the best case scenario here. And then let's try and open up this gap because one of them got to drop points here, which is great for us. And then we're playing Sunderland, which is technically funny because all top 4 teams are playing each other. So you should see a big shift in this table. Because if Liverpool lose here, there's a lot of teams that can get ahead of them here. Like there's a good 5 teams that could jump over Liverpool. So if I was a Liverpool fan, I'd be pretty concerned. This is a really big result for you in regards to momentum. But yeah, man, make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Let me know your thoughts on the game. I'm gonna go. I think regardless of who we got out, I'm gonna estimate we win this a comfortable 3-0. I don't think we concede against them. Let me know your prediction. Let me know your thoughts in the chat. All that good stuff. I will be doing a hate watch along for Man City Liverpool, so we'll look out for that. That should be pretty big. But yeah, boys, like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. See you in the next video. Peace.